I the only one? Yeah. Am I sexual? Yeah. Am I everything you need? You better rock your body now. Everybody. Rock your body. Everybody. Rock your body right. Easy's back. All right. All right.
All right, guys, how's everybody doing today? So we got a pretty decent show. Not anything too big. We wanted to inform everybody about the situation about Governor Abbott. Governor Abbott, we received notification that Governor Abbott is going to be in town tomorrow, guys, and it's important. Being with the whole situation with the border happening right now, a lot of questions are coming up. That you've seen everything going on with the politics involved. If you watch the news, catch anything with KSAT 12 or any of the big corporate medias, you'll see that there's a tug and pull for the whole border issue, how it's developing into a situation where you either think this way or you think that way about it, and it's becoming a critical issue. So to brief you up on that, and we do have so far, guys, I know I kind of dove into straight about the border situation and what we got going on. So today we're doing a show where we want to reach out to everybody out there who, if you're running for an elected office, if you got, there's a lot of positions that are open right now. Anybody out there that if you're running for elected office, you want to reach out to us, right now is the time, couple of minutes of your time to showcase and to let people know what you're about, why you're running. Of course, we'll also entertain anybody that wants to discuss their platform with us. We have one right now, somebody running for constable that's going to join us in a little bit. So I want to invite every elected official or somebody running a candidate for the elected office, Maverick County attorney, district attorney, what have you. We invite you guys right now, sudden notice, but you know how we like to do it. We like to not give you any kind of notice. That way nothing's prepared, nothing's up front. It's kind of just a discussion and kind of a meet your candidate type of thing. And then from there, we need another interview or we need something a little more in depth, and we'll reach out and do that, right? But first things first, I know I started off with Governor Abbott. Governor Abbott is going to be back in town. He is going to have a press conference about border security here in Eagle Pass. More than likely, the scenery is going to be again at Shelby Park, as we have grown accustomed to seeing where Governor Abbott has his press conferences. So just touching on that right now, while we're getting our person ready to jump on, our first person of the night. Hopefully, we get multiple people joining in. So one thing I do want to ask for all of y'all that are watching right now, if you can do me the favor and just like and share this. And doesn't matter where you're watching it, Facebook, YouTube. We're on Twitch as well. We also got YouTube, so X as well. So if you're watching right now, do me a favor, like this post, share it. We're gonna get a little in depth. We're going to discuss a lot of things. Again, Governor Abbott. Anybody has any comments or any issues about what's going on here at the border, let us know in the comments and we'll address that as the show goes. But yes, Governor Abbott's going to be back in Eagle Pass. He is going to be coming in. The media advisory that we received from his press office, that he will be here tomorrow. He's going to address the public or people in the press conference, right? He's going to address them about a border security issue, an announcement that he has. So, as many of you that follow the Maverick Times news, we were lucky to be the only news source out there the last time with Governor Abbott's press conference that he had down here when the governors, was it 14 governors, it joined him in the fight for and committing to support Governor Abbott in his efforts to secure our border. Make no, don't be fooled by the gimmicks or anything like that or what you see on TV. Just remember, as you guys know, you guys probably know better than the border than anyone else. So we see that one of our interviewees, we're going to host today, Mr. Carlos Olivares. And the interesting thing about this, guys, he is running for constable for precinct 3C. So the Quemado area is going to be represented. The Normandy area is going to be represented. Right now, the incumbent is Mr. Samuel Chacon. He is a Democrat. And we have two candidates from the Republican Party that are going to be running against him. So that's not going to be for the vote coming up in March, the primary. It'll probably be addressed, the voting. We'll know the final, who's going to stay as constable in November when we have the election, the general elections. So let's go ahead and bring on Carlos and see what he has to say. All right, let's see. Hey, what's going on, Mr. Olivares?
How's it going?
Good, good. I want to thank you for joining us. I know it was last minute, and you were, taking care of some stuff, and we hope we didn't rush you too much or anything like that. But thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me. No, not a problem. That's what we're here for, is to inform the community and let everybody know what we're trying to do.
Absolutely. Now, you're running for precinct 3. C, right? So there's AB for those that don't know, AB, which is more concentrated in the area where, Seco Mines and the vicinity there. But as you drive down 277 headed towards Del Rio, you got Normandy, Quemado, which is still part of Maverick County, right? Mm-hmm. So that's the area that you're going to be running for. And your opponents, you do have two. You have one in the Republican Party that you're going to have going against a primary, right? And you also have the Democrat that if you succeed in the primary, you're going to be going up against. Do you want to talk a little bit about what made you want to run? Because I know that a lot of people, kind of tend to run, they were a little pushed or this. I mean, how our border situation here with politics is. And it's nice to see a fresh face, someone, young that, is coming and wants to do something different. Because your candidates that you see there are older and stuff like that. And we recognize you're a young guy. I don't know how old exactly, but younger than I am, right? But you don't typically see that, right? Younger people don't really care about what's going on with politics, this and that. But it's commendable whenever somebody does come out, especially the youth that want to make a change. Now, I don't know if you want to go ahead and introduce yourself, give us a little bit of background for the people watching.
Yeah, so my name's Carlos Olivares. I've been a resident in Quemado pretty much my whole life, 34 years. I'm 34 years old. Go ahead.
No, I was saying because I didn't know you are young relatively to everybody else that's running. So yeah, I'm sorry about that. Go ahead.
No. I am married. I have my family. I have 3 children. My daughter's name is Catalina. My son Junior, and my youngest is Christian. I would say I'm a pretty active member with the community. I help out with the school with some coaching for basketball and stuff like that, and football, t-ball. I've been active with fire department here in Quemado with Eagle Pass back then, and when I was in high school and stuff. I did attend the Fire and EMS Academy in San Antonio back in 2008. I try to assist with anything I can here in Quemado for the area when it comes to fire and stuff. So, I mean, the main reason I figured I'd step up to the plate and try to get the constable position is there's a lot going on in our community, especially with the things going on in the border. But uh, I just I feel like Quemado needs a lot more patrolling. It needs a lot more backing when it comes to law enforcement and fire and EMS. I hope that one day we do get a volunteer department out here that hopefully has paid EMS officers. It was brought up back when COVID had first kind of kicked off. I'm hoping we can get that ball rolling again and see if we can make something happen on that. And that's something I do want to push for, running for this election and stuff. It's one of my biggest goals to do is have first responders here to cut back on call times when it comes to fire, EMS, and for law enforcement. We are pretty far out on the side of Eagle Pass. So most of the time when there's an emergency call, it takes responders, basically you can say 20 to 30 minutes, sometimes a little bit more to come out here and get onto those calls. So I would love to be able to get the position as constable, of course, and make it to where we have a either myself or a deputy constable patrolling within a 24-hour span every single day, so we can cut down on call times when it comes to 911 calls or anything like that. Um, just of precinct 3C, a little bit of peace of mind that, hey, if you have an emergency, our goal is to be there as quick as possible and cut down that call time and render aid in any way we can to assist anybody that has any kind of emergency going on.
Good. I mean, that's awesome. Now, what can you kind of give us a brief about 3C? So we know where it's located, Normandy, Quemado area, right, headed towards Del Rio. What as it pertains to the constable, right, law enforcement, and you're talking about EMS, what is it that you guys see out there? I mean, I've gone out there, of course. I know the area. I have family there, of course, but I don't, I'm not out there every day. Can you kind of tell us what you see there as a resident, and why there is a need to do a little bit more of what you're saying that there's more to be done out there in 3C, right? So can you tell us why what is it that you're seeing out there that inspired you to want to run and address?
Like I said, on like the first responder style, when it comes to, we are a very busy highway all through here, to Highway 277, of course, and we have the cutoff, the 131 that takes you towards Bracketville and Spofford and all that. So like precinct 3 pretty much starts where Geo is.
Okay.
On Highway 131, and it goes all the way to the county line.
Los 12 millas, right? For
pretty much right after the radar base. Correct.
Okay.
The Highway 131 that cuts off right after the radar base. From there is where 3C starts, and it goes all the way to the Valverde County line, and it goes all the way to the Kinney County line. So it is a very vast area to cover. And a lot of the things we see out here when it comes to the highway and stuff like that is medical emergencies on the highway, accidents. Here a while back, we had that accident with the semi and that vehicle. There's been rollovers. There's been, a lot of accidents on the highway, and you never know when or what's going to happen. I know there's been a lot of we have some older people in the community that that time span of 30 minutes can change a big vast of their opportunities to be able to survive any kind of medical emergency. So, like I said, when it comes to, say, somebody has a heart attack or somebody has any kind of injury that involves a rapid response, that's what affects us compared to Eagle Pass, because we have to wait that time to be able to get EMS or fire out here to be able to render aid. And it does play a big toll on a lot of people, not just physically on their injuries, but mentally, because imagine yourself getting hurt and you're sitting there, how long are these people going to take to get here to help me? And that's what I want to push hard on, is to give people that peace of mind. and my plans also, like with the law enforcement side, being if I do get the position of constable, of course, is to be able to do welfare checks on these people. Come by every now and then and knock on their door and, hey, just checking up on you, see how you're doing, you need anything, what can we help you with, or give that people the peace of mind, like, hey, we're right here, we're around the corner, whatever you need, emergency or not. If you need somebody, just you're having a hard time, you want to talk to somebody, we're here. We're going to be a community. We're going to stand together. We're going to stand proud. When it comes to law enforcement side, also, what we're seeing a lot here lately, I don't know if you've heard of some of the break-ins we've had here in Quemado with the illegal situations. People are coming across, of course. I mean, everybody knows what's going on. And there's been some people breaking into vehicles, breaking into homes, stealing people's properties, tools, equipment, stuff like that. And like I said, by the time the homeowner calls 911 and we have the sheriff department come out, or somebody to come and see what's going on and start investigating or catch them in the act, it's hard because the response time, again, it's and I know the sheriff department, they do everything they can to be patrolling out here lately. They've been very active out here, and I admire that very much. There's there's a lot of effort being shown, but I know if we were to be able to establish a situation where the sheriff and the constable out here, work as a team with fire and EMS, and everybody combines, Kemal would be able to sleep a lot better at night. So,
and is that what you hear from the people around? Is just that a sense of you don't know if something's going to happen and if you're going to get rescued in time, or if you're going to, I mean, I would think that would kind of, impact the way you live your life a little bit, right?
very
You're
much
not
so.
as, yeah. I mean, and I know you guys being close to the Kenny County line, there's a lot of chases out there and cars and everything. So we've seen that a lot happen out there. So moving on, what do you think? I mean, I know you explained a little bit about why you wanted to improve this and that, the situation that's going on. Is there just a lack of security right now, or you just want to take it to the next level and make sure everybody rests?
It's not that there's a lack of security or any of that. The thing is, it's the basis of response time. Like I said, right now there's a lot of highway patrol out here. When it comes to Texas DPS, when it comes to Florida Highway Patrol, we have a lot of Border Patrol agents out here. Of course, like I said, there's been a lot of patrolling with the sheriff department and stuff. So the effort is there. I just, being a member of this community of Precinct 3C, and like I said, I've lived here forever. I I want to give the community as much as we can to give them a little bit more peace of mind. Like I said, with the influx coming in from Mexico, you know, yeah, there's a lot of law enforcement here, but like I said, a lot of law enforcement don't know these roads, don't know the people, don't know the community, don't know faster routes to get to places. And being a local from the community, I have a vast mentality of where everyone lives. I know a lot of the residents here. So I know I can cut some response time, even though it's a minute. A minute sometimes can change a lot
Yeah.
of things, you know. So that's my goal, is to be able to give people that little peace of mind. Like, hey, you might make a 911 call, and the sheriff department or DPS, they might not be very familiarized with Quemado or Normandy or any part of Precinct 3C, you know. I can give that part of myself. Like, I understand everyone in this town, to where they live, to how, you know, entrances of some of the ranches are, because I do some work for a lot of the residents here in Quemado. Be able to react to their calls and get there faster and assist them as fast as possible.
That's interesting that you say. Yeah. I mean, me, I'm from Eagle Pass, right? I've been into Quemado, all my life, several times. I couldn't count, right? But the roads out there, that's something else. I mean, it is. You have to know how to navigate to get to a certain house. The other
Yes.
day, at the children's ranch out there, I was like, is this the right way to go? Is it over here? And I was fortunate. I have a family out there, but they live right on 277, so it's off the highway. So it was nice and easy to get there. But now,
Hmm.
if the back roads, I mean, the ranch, it was a little noticeable. But from
Hmm.
there, I was, my head was on the swivel, looking where am I going, this and that. Now, that's something that you can assist if you're on board as the constable to
Hmm.
help them navigate those roads and get to the quickest response time.
Yes.
Now, patrolling wise, do you see that you'll be out there on a daily basis, trying to make sure everything's okay? I know you said about wellness checks, and that's
Hmm.
something different because that's nothing that I've heard any constable say before about, going on and making sure everything's okay. Especially nowadays where you never know what could happen, right? I know we say that, every 10 years or so, but nowadays it really seems that, we never know what could happen.
Yes.
Um, can you touch a little bit on what is the biggest challenge, or what would be the biggest challenge for, the Quemado residents if you're not, if they don't elect you, that you're coming here wanting to do things, where would that leave the Quemado residents? I mean, are they struggling right now to a point where, uh, guns are, right there by the bed? And I know I don't want to get too much into the border stuff, but
Mhm.
how is it living out there? Is it you have to be, have your protection close by you at all times, or no?
I would say yes for the peace of mind, because there's days you can wake up and you can leave from your residence and you're going to work or you're going to leave your kids at school and everything looks peaceful, calm, and then on your way back home, all of a sudden here's, 10 individuals walking down the road and you don't know what intentions they have. You know what I mean? So a lot of them that are coming across, they give bad vibes, and like I said, you might be a mother dropping off your kids and you're getting home and there's, you know 10 people standing outside your gate while you're trying to come in and you don't know how to react. you know
Oh,
so
wow.
like I said, you just never know what you're going to encounter. So yeah, a lot of people do sleep at night with their guns by their bed or their guns by the door, for that peace of mind. Because like I said, here recently we had some break-ins on 1664, which is the river road on the back end. So but I want to say it was three houses. Two of the houses I know the residents very well, and it hurts, because these are people that these are people that you know uh one of them I know their son very well, and the other one I know them very well. I was actually with one of I was actually with both of them, the residents of that home, just a couple hours ago. And it's what kind of pushes you to try to help and improve those situations. Like, these are people that that they're breaking into their houses, and you know you want them to feel like, hey, they're breaking into my house. I make a phone call, I might have somebody here within 2 to 5 minutes at the most because they're right here in town.
Yeah. And it's, I guess we kind of take it for granted here in Eagle Pass that we're so close to a police force and the sheriff if needed, right? We understand that, the sheriff's department, they have the personnel and everything, and you actually, said that they're doing a pretty good job in patrolling, but
Mhm.
they are, today in commissioner's court, they had mentioned that they only have 4 deputies at a time. So I can imagine how difficult it is for them, if they get a call down here in the south and then have to respond, you
Mhm.
know, right up north, and then, having all 4 of their hands filled. I mean, who else do you call, right?
Exactly.
So yeah, so a little bit of your knowledge, what your experience that you've had, how is that going to help you to be the constable that we need out there in 3C?
Like I said, I have the advantage of knowing the people, knowing their houses, knowing the community, because I've been here my whole life, riding around on bicycles through all the streets, and so uh like I said, I want to say I have the advantage because a lot of the members of the community know me, know where I stand, know where my heart stands. I try to do as much as I can for the community when I can. Um, And I just like I guess you can say I'm gonna just put it on God's hands to see what happens, and hopefully it works out to my favor. And if it doesn't, I'm still gonna try to be and assist in every way I can here in the community, like I always have. You know, I'm not gonna be like, oh, I didn't win. Forget about it. I'm not gonna help anybody out. That's not who I am. That's not where my heart lands. Like I said, I've been helping out with fire and stuff out here for way too long, and I even if I don't get the position of constable, I do want to push on the fire and EMS to be out here to see if we can get the station out here. I've talked to some of the members of the community already, and some people are ready to sign up for volunteering for the fire department. So,
Oh wow.
uh, I want to get the ball rolling. Whether I do win on the primary or I do win in November, regardless of, I honestly I'm still going to push for it because we need it here in Kamalo.
No, yeah, and we've seen, just like our county in general is an underserved county. I could
Mhm.
imagine, a little bit more of a rural area, and a lot of people consider Eagle Pass to be rural, but I mean,
Mhm.
I know Quemado doesn't have, all the advantages of being here, living in the city of Eagle Pass.
Yes, sir.
But we appreciate you joining us. I don't know if you have anything further that you'd like to tell the people that are watching, the people that are going to be viewing this later on. Any final message that you want to let them know?
Yeah, I mean the only thing would be go out there and vote. Put your name out there. Make your vote count. Doesn't matter who you vote for. Just go out there and vote. Be an active member of your community and push for a brighter future. Just go vote.
Awesome. Hey, Mr. Olivares, we're glad that you were able to join us tonight. We thank you, and hopefully we can catch up later on moving forward. I know it's 5 days to the primary, so you have your opponent directly, and the Democrat Party only has one, right? So
Yeah,
we wish you the best of luck, and hopefully we'll catch up with you sometime during the early vote or maybe before. That way we can just catch up to see how the campaign's going.
awesome. We can do
All
that.
right, man. Well, thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you. You have a nice one. Good night.
You too. All right, guys. So that was Carlos Olivares, guys. He is running for Maverick County Constable Precinct 3C, guys. So that, as he told us, encompasses the area from just past the radar base all the way to the Valverde and then the Kinney County line. So it's important to know that there's people out there that want to make a difference, that feel that they can make a difference, and you want to support people that honestly. I mean, the real good thing that we heard here was that whether he wins or loses, he's still going to be involved, and that's a rare thing that you see nowadays in our society, is that people are always ready to what, whatever, let them handle it, let them deal with it. They didn't vote for me, let them stay with what they voted for then. And it's refreshing to have somebody saying, it doesn't matter whether I win, lose, draw, whatever, I'm still in it to support or be in support of his community, which is Precinct 3C. Now, again, on that race, we have primaries coming up. We have Mr. Carlos Olivares that is running against. He does have a candidate. He's going to be running against another Republican for the primary to see who's going to represent the Republican Party for Constable Precinct 3C, guys. So if you get out to vote, if you're going to be voting on the Republican side of the ticket, you're going to have two candidates that are going against each other. We showcased one. We've reached out to the other one to see lately. Hopefully, we can get him on as well. That way, you guys are familiar with the different candidates, and that is what our goal is. Not to push any one candidate, but to familiarize ourselves with the candidate so you can make the best decision that you can. There's no way that anybody makes decisions about finances, about your children, about anything else without doing a little bit of research or knowing what it is you're going to decide. I know that elections may seem minimal to you, but when you get into it, I mean, elected officials decide what's going to happen uh, in our community. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. They're elected. They pass ordinances, laws, and they affect our community. So it's important to know these people and see who is willing to actually help the system that we have right now, and who is there to take advantage of the system, right? So moving forward, we were touching on it a little bit before. We'll go back again and rewind. Governor Abbott's going to be here tomorrow. We received a media advisory from his press office. They're going to be down here. They're going to make a major border security announcement. We're not sure exactly what is going to be announced, right? But the thing is that he's coming down and gonna make a press conference. Now, I know everybody has seen Eagle Pass, Maverick County here in the border. We've been on the news for the past 2 years, way too long, and not for anything that's too positive, which is this border crisis that's going on right now, that continues to go on. Of course, we don't have many people supporting the situation other than Governor Abbott, that's pushing for using the state, his powers with the state, to secure our border as much as we can. Now, of course, you can't. I mean, Shelby Park is a limited size place, and they're doing what they can to address the situation. Now, March is coming up, and that is a key month. Why? Because SB 4 that was signed last year is going to come into effect. Now, some can say that they already have it in effect, but it officially will be hitting, official status come March. So that's going to be something that you're going to want to look at and make sure, that is what it is, and not, anything that a lot of people, and I've seen, state representatives argue the fact that, it's discriminatory, what have you. Now, based on the conversation we just had with a candidate for Constable 3, Precinct 3C, there's people that can show up at anybody's doorstep out there, guys. Now, again, we have it lucky here in the city because we have the police force. They do have a killer, reaction time or response time. Then, unfortunately, areas like Imalo, Normandy do not have. But that's a situation that we're dealing with right now, and no one is doing anything about it at the federal level. They've tried to impeach the House Secretary. The Department of Homeland Security Secretary Mayorkas. That's a fiasco. A lot of the politics is a fiasco, if you ask me. We know some of these things are, invented to create. So, segueing into that, let's get to local politics and what is going on that we see here locally. We are 5 days away, only 5 days away from this primary elections. Now, the primary is going to be, you're going to have to choose whether you're going to be voting on the Democrat side to choose the best Democrat that's going to represent you in November, or on the Republican side where you're going to choose the best Republican to represent you in November. So both primaries are split. So it's all Republicans in one, all Democrats in the other. So the storylines that we've been seeing lately, and it's interesting what's going on, and I think that everybody needs to know situations that are happening, right? So today we had there was a Maverick County Commissioner's Court meeting, right? And there's a real funny situation that is kind of evolving, right? Because you have the Maverick County Sheriff and the Maverick County Attorney. They're both involved with Operation Lone Star funding, which has brought millions of dollars into our community to secure our border for that specific reason. Now you have law enforcement, you have prosecution, you have administration, all that needs to be completed, right? So the backstory on this is that the commissioner's court, specifically Commissioner of Precinct 1, Jerry Morales, he requested an item to be on there, and the item was to know, and he was well within his right, and I'm glad he asked, because sometimes there needs to be accountability, right? So they were asked to the county attorney was asked to bring up bring up where the funding has gone, give a report to commissioner's court about how or where has all the money for OLS gone, and where has it been spent, what has been done about that. So that situation, there was a special meeting about that one, and that was back in early February, or earlier this month. And we'll show you a snippet of it right now. But it's rather long, because the county attorney actually went in depth into explaining the situation. So you guys can take a look. So what we're gonna do is kind of speed up to the section where so this right here, what you're looking at, and I'm just taking a little bit of time, right? Sorry to talking over him, but this is the county attorney presenting to commissioner's court what is going on with Operation Lone Star operations. I'm gonna let it run so you guys can hear a little bit. Mm. This is important information. I stopped to say this now. What he goes on to say is that there's no one else in the state of Texas, there's no other county that has both, that, or back then that it was funded. Operation Lone Star was funding the Maverick County Sheriff's Office and the Maverick County Attorney's Office in separate grants. Now, that's not heard of. I know about grants, and typically when they award you a grant, they won't award a sub applicant. So this was a unique situation that a lot of people are not familiar or haven't heard of. But again, the county attorney is sitting here telling us of the situation about, again, this item was brought to you by Commissioner Jerry Morales, and it was good because there needs to be accountability. Of course, as Maverick County residents, everybody wants accountability. And as you see, we'll go back into so this is the kind of thing that we're having, right? Let's move it a little bit forward. Okay. Okay. So talking about right now, he's talking about the project he had and the money that was used for the projects that he's done. So he's detailing where the money is going that we receive from these grant fundings, right? Let's fast forward a little bit more, see, and they're still discussing this. Mhm. Okay, so I mean, he goes on for a good while, and the thing with this is, hey, he's up there and he's standing to the call of them wanting to know information, right? So I guess what I'm getting at is, and we're gonna bring up another video from today. That way we can do a comparison. But I know there's been a lot of stuff in the media right now, and it kind of seems like they're throwing things back at each other. But when it comes to accountability, I mean, the county attorney he had a good part in explaining where this funding has gone, what this funding was used for, and don't get it wrong, Operation Lone Star funding. I mean, it was in the millions of dollars, guys. So that's the meeting that we had then, right? That's the meeting back then where they were asked to produce, or the county attorney, there was an item on the agenda where the county attorney was asked to produce a some sort of report or some sort of discussion as to where has all the funding gone for Operation Lone Star. Now today there was another meeting, right? And they have put the sheriff's department in the meeting because that they were going to basically do the same thing that the county attorney did. So let's go ahead and get you on that one so you can take a look and see how that started out. Now, so again, we're going to go into it where this situation, Sheriff Schmerber is going to discuss, much like the county attorney did right now. He is going to discuss the situation with the OLS. Huh, I hadn't seen that one, but he's going to discuss the OLS situation, Operation Lone Star, and we'll see where it takes it from there. All right, guys. I just heard that we weren't able to see the video, but again, I just want you guys to know, for the comparison purposes, is that we will be getting the county attorney's presentation was close to an hour, 30 minutes, 45 minutes, right? In going through, we couldn't even cycle it, but this was today's meeting. So you see that there's a situation going on here. I'm hearing that for some reason. So we got here a situation where it's crazy. That's wow, guys. I apologize. I haven't even seen this part of it. So wow, I don't know. I hadn't seen this part, guys. So let me go ahead and pause it. Even though I think that you guys may not be able to. Basically, what is happening, there is a back and forth dialogue between the Maverick County Sheriff and the Maverick County Judge. Now, here you have something that's, um, I don't know. The sheriff is requesting documents. Which documents? I'm not sure which one he's requested. We don't have that on here. Like I said, I just saw this today, but it's weird to me because that should be readily available for any type of request, especially for an elected official. Now, what the sheriff is doing is saying that he doesn't have documentation to be able to present to the commissioner. Now, you see, so now you have, it's funny because you have the sheriff saying that he does not have a report or doesn't have anything until a public information request is fulfilled. Now, one thing I want to definitely point out to you, we had there in attendance, one of the candidates is running for Commissioner Precinct 3 present. Now, there was a lot of back and forth with that situation, and I'm not sure if they're aware or anything, but pretty much nothing was really said. Honestly, it was a little difficult to stomach because um, there wasn't any exchange. Now, the only thing that happened was the sheriff was telling the court that he did not have any type of report ready because he submitted a public information request to get records that he might have. He did mention he did not have a grant writer. Now, I will say, not. I mean, it's not. I don't think anybody has a grant writer specifically for a special department. Now, he, got up here, gave the whole. He's talking about how. So it's funny, guys, uh, out of sincerity, because you have the same thing that's been happening all this time. Nothing has really changed. You have the sheriff up there, and it's a political type of thing where he comes out and says it's politics. Why was this? Why was that? Victimizing the situation where, guys, I think I figured it out now. And I apologize, but you should be hearing the video now. If you guys can help me
All
out
of a sudden, Thursday,
on the
4
comment
p.m.,
with a thumbs
some
up,
of your commissioners were
this
not
is
aware,
the
and
outburst
presentation that was made by
station
Clinton
in Maverick
on
County.
every expense that has been made for, since we have assured that all of the departments receive what is necessary.
and we will have it. It's kind of strange that when I sent for this request, 30 minutes or 45 minutes, all of a sudden we have a meeting on Thursday. I mean, on today. It's kind of like,
No, Sheriff,
yes, yes, yes.
Sheriff, this obviously resulted from the questions that were brought up from the last meeting that we had. Okay, when there was a full review of the last OLS operation.
And nothing was said at that time of the date and time. Now, when I sent this request, all of a sudden, Thursday, 4 p.m., some of your commissioners were not aware, and I want.
But you were made aware of that, this meeting, correct,
On the same day after I sent the request.
Now
which would have been.
see they're going back and forth.
That you had all
No, because I'm waiting for the request first. I'm waiting for that request.
Okay, but it still does not take back, Sheriff, the fact
Yes, it does.
that you have exactly a review of all that has been done within your department. You do not, you're telling me, or you're telling this court that you don't have a full review of everything, of the expenses from that.
I'm waiting for your
from that
request.
time?
I'm waiting for the request that I requested. Material.
So there can be a review of what was sent over
So
from the auditor's office.
so the sheriff keeps on asking about a document that he made a request on. Now, as far as I know, elected officials, they, in their capacity as an elected official, can request any type of records without having to go through the formal process. Now, that is if the information is being used as an elected official. If you are using information to disseminate or distribute outside of the capacity of your office, then that's something you can't do. But you, anybody as an elected official, has the right for information, especially when it's within their capacity. And in this case, the presentation being given by Sheriff Schmerber, where he's saying he's not saying anything about what has been done with the sheriff's office grant funds with OLS, yet he's focusing on other stuff rather than giving information. Let's continue.
So this email that was sent over specifically in regards to all of this, this was this sent over, Ms. Romero, to who? And Sheriff, this is all of the documentation in order to make sure that the sheriff, and this provided in regards to this here, for the review of all of the documentation that has been sent since 2022. Okay, in regards to those purchases and the documentation, everyone has been received a copy, correct?
Hold on. Judge. This request was made by the sheriff. Was it sent to the sheriff? It doesn't say here on this email that it was sent to the sheriff. So if it wasn't sent to the sheriff, he's here entitled to do that, request that. Now, the only reason the OLS was brought up is because I asked Mr. Iracheta to bring it up. It's been 3 years, and he had never provided a report. In this court, your administration preaches transparency, and yet you don't want to talk about.
Right there, I have to stop it because now, and the Maverick County Commissioner of Precinct 1, Jerry Morales, is within his right to comment, right? But or to say what he needs to say. But one of the things that, I mean, I guess he doesn't notice, or I don't know what the situation, what he's thinking, but the sheriff's not able to have a presentation. I know that he says that there was 3 years that there was never a presentation from the county attorney about OLS expenditures or a presentation. Now there is an opportunity for the Maverick County Sheriff to give his presentation, yet he does not have the information. Now, to me, if your department is making these purchases or handling these things, you should have some type of copy, some type of background, some type of check to know that you have these things. Now, kudos to Commissioner Morales. He's in there fighting for, his buddy or political ally or what have you, but it's a misdirection move because, I'll say it. The county attorney, like Jerry said, Commissioner Morales said, the county attorney hasn't done a presentation of OLS in 3 years. Why is he not saying that the sheriff has not done an OLS presentation in 3 years too? Let's go.
Hold on, Commissioner. Don't tell me that Mr. Iracheta. Give me 1 second.
Now they're getting into a little tussle. So let's
1 second, sir. Let's go back. Let's go back here. Commissioner here with Mr. Iracheta. Mr. Iracheta has not been in charge of this program for 3 years, sir, and you're well aware of that.
How long has he been in charge?
So since Mr. Iracheta has taken,
How long has he been in
How long
charge?
have you been in charge, Mr. Iracheta? Let's put that on the record. 1 year.
1 year.
This has been 3
And
years.
it wasn't
This is
because
an
of my
operation.
request that was the first time a report was presented. If I hadn't requested that,
A report
it
can be
wouldn't have
done
been
at any
presented.
time, sir. Just the same
It
way.
wasn't
Just the
presented.
same way that this can be
Okay.
done.
So it wasn't presented till I requested that. Now the sheriff is requesting the report. He didn't get it. He didn't get it. You're giving it to us right now during the meeting when he doesn't have time to review it, when he doesn't have time to go and look at the expenses. So he's right when he's asking that.
And in regards to that, Sheriff, what we will do is, in regards to this specifically, if there had been a review on this issue, and if the auditor's office did not provide the information specifically, provided what was the complete review, and I want to make sure that you have sufficient time to review everything that is specific on the OLS operation. If there is additional information, but if you have what is, it just does surprise me, Sheriff, though, that you can tell me that out of all of the documentation and everything that the sheriff's office normally should be handling over, that there is no review of what it is that you have on the expenses of that grant
Not
from
until,
that bank.
not until I get the request, we will have a review. He had what, a long time to prepare? You sent me this thing?
No, actually,
same
the,
time?
the,
What a
the attorney was
coincidence,
not even made aware.
what a coincidence that I sent this right away.
Okay, look, watch that. I'm sorry, spade's a spade. That right there, look, we just showed you earlier today the February 5th meeting where the county attorney did a presentation on Operation Lone Star. Now, it was in that very same meeting, reviewing the videos, if you go back and look at it, in that very meeting, the commissioner's court decides to ask the county sheriff. This is back in the 5th, guys. This is 10 days ago. Now, they asked the county sheriff to prepare something. Now, whether he was made aware of it since February 5th is not, anything to like, that's his department, his office, right? But as an elected official and one that's involved so much and is a big part of the county, should be present. And it should have been known since the 5th that it was needed to present something because, they put the county attorney to a test and he delivered on giving you guys a report. There is no ifs, ands, or buts, like I like to say. It's just straight out. He delivered a report. He told the public where these expenditures were spent. Now we have the Maverick County Sheriff not for needing reports, needing this, and turning this around into a what? I don't even know what to call this, guys.
We have a meeting Thursday, and Tuesday's gonna be the election.
But he is saying
No.
politics.
Let's not go there, okay? Because none of this started in that
So
capacity.
that's the way I see it, and maybe.
Well, unfortunately, you're seeing it incorrectly because that's not what this is. Specifically on this particular grant, this is what we're doing. We want to make sure that there's just a complete review, as it was done based on the individuals that have been doing this administering of this grant for the past year, and in order to make sure that we can go ahead and proceed with these next steps of understanding what the expenditure.
Let me ask you one question.
Go ahead, Chair.
Why does it have to be today, not next week or something like that? Why today?
Sheriff, I'm in complete understanding now that of course our staff has made us aware that the auditor's office did not send this email directly over to you and sent it directly over to the office. There is a valid point, and that of course we will duly note that the information has not been fully made aware to you, and which should have been sent over to you based on the request that you made. Now that you have this information, feel free to review it, and we can come back and do another follow-up on this particular review on the OLS side.
So now what I see is getting resolved here is that the Maverick County Sheriff is now in receipt of the documents. Now, no part of anything had to do with Commissioner's Court doing anything with that exchange of information for what have you. But guys, anywhere as an elected official, you have the right to information as long as it's used for official county business, let's say, or school district business or city business. It's just as simple as that, as sending an email. It doesn't have to be formal because you're gathering the email to be used in your official capacity. So it shouldn't be that difficult of a situation to navigate. But again, you see where the political aspect, I guess, to call it something, it is taking over. It's I don't know if this is reaction. Well, yeah, obviously it is reactionary by the Maverick County Sheriff. But since February 5th, it was known because we showed you in the video where the county attorney is presenting, and it was stated afterwards that the Commissioner's Court needed to know where $397,000 got deobligated. Now, this happens. It should not happen, but it happens. Now, the next question that the community should be asking is why this money was not spent. And I think that that's what Commissioner's Court is trying to get to the bottom of in this meeting, is that they're trying to figure out what it was that happened, why that happened, and why did Maverick County lose out on near $400,000 $400,000 funds for grant.
But in regards to that, if there are any specific questions regarding the OLS operation, my concern is just making sure that you can present what it was based from 2022 to the point of its inception to where it was taken over from the new grant director on that
I
position.
agree.
So that's what I want to make sure that we can adhere to and get an understanding as to what it is
I'm not gonna lie,
that was
this
accomplished
here,
in
this
that grant during that time. There are questions that I think that we need to, that we will need to ask, but in order to give you sufficient timing, I'll be happy to schedule some additional time for you to review that information and to make sure that we can get that proper presentation from you and give you the sufficient time that you're requesting, Sheriff, to do so. So there isn't anything further on the Operation Lone Star side. Specifically from this end, from the commissioners.
Sure. Did you get a copy, sir?
Copy of what?
Yes.
You just get a copy right now? Did you get a copy of the documents?
No.
You got a
Is that
copy
what
of
you
it?
gave me?
And if you need the office to provide any additional copies for any of the staff members,
Hold on.
I'm happy to also provide that to you as well.
That comment right there is everything you need to know.
So there any other, so that's what I want to make sure that we can adhere to
Yes.
and get an understanding of
Commissioner,
what it is exactly
ask
that was accomplished through that
Sheriff,
that grant during that time. There are questions that I think that we need to, that we will need to ask,
and
but in order to give you sufficient timing,
just
I'll be happy to schedule some additional time for you to review that information and to make sure that we can get that proper presentation from you and give you the sufficient time that you're requesting, Sheriff, to do so. So there isn't anything further on the Operation Lone Star side. Specifically from this end, from the commissioners.
Sure. Did you get a copy, sir?
Copy of what?
Yes.
You just get a copy right now? Did you get a copy of the documents?
No.
copy of what? Did you get a copy?
Is that what you gave me?
No. And then he says,
And if you need the office to provide any additional.
I just gave you a copy. Oh.
I'm more than happy to also provide that to you as well.
100%
Are there any other questions?
Hello.
Commissioner?
to read. Oh my God.
What is the next meeting, sir?
You cannot,
Better for us just to go ahead and close this meeting, that we had kind of set this meeting up on a discussion based on the issue of anything that has to do with.
you cannot make these things up, guys. And that's why I go straight to the video, to the source. If you haven't seen it already, it's on the Maverick County site on Facebook. Check it out. But oh wow, I mean, this one hit it right on the nail, hit the nail on the head. I'm afraid we'll never get an expenditure report. Our sheriff is as lost as the president of our country. So Sheriff Schmerber is getting compared to President Biden, where we all know President Biden doesn't know his own name.
From the safety concerns, what it is that we can do, OLS operation. These were the questions that we kind of wanted to set this up specifically for this meeting. But if we need to follow up with another special meeting just for this, I can call another meeting based on this issue just for us to have that discussion.
Guys, I'm scrolling through the comments. So one thing that all of us need to know, if you don't know, the lady Gloria Hernandez, right? She's commenting a lot. You can see it right here. So I believe that she is running for county attorney as an independent. Now, this is the same Gloria Hernandez that one was a county attorney, that two was a county attorney under the infamous David Salcedo, who is running for precinct 3. So my interest is that when she was working there, you would never see her so involved. And now that she's not working there, man, she's really involved. She's there saying that they defunded the police. What? When did that happen? The comments are golden, guys. That's all I got to say is the comments are golden. Whether you like what they say or not, they're golden. And some of them are facts and some of them are just a bunch of bullshit. Let's see. Look, okay. Martin Cantu Sr. This is former Commissioner Precinct 2's husband, Rosy Cantu. So his comment, well, the sheriff's office could have more patrolling if the commissioner's court and the judge would send all the new trucks Irachetabat for his staff from money of the Lone Star, Loan, Star. It's Lone, Lone Star, Operation Lone Star. That would have been for the sheriff's office. The sheriff's office would be patrolling. You see, and I get you. More vehicles, you think more patrolling can happen. But guys, in the meeting with today's meeting, they say exactly what went on, right? And they told us that only 4 deputies are patrolling right now. And I feel for those deputies, because how are y'all only 4 patrolling the entire county of Maverick? How? Now, Mr. Cantu wants to throw mud because of the I'm in this political faction, you're in that political faction. But okay, let's give the sheriff all the trucks that the county attorney has. Now, you only have 4 deputies. There's only 4 deputies. So what are you going to do with all those extra trucks, Mr. Cantu? What are you going to do with all those extra trucks? I don't understand. They're just going to be parked there. I mean, I'm not defending one side or the other. I'm just being, straight up. It is what it is. I mean, you're saying something about our trucks. Okay. Now, there's only 4 deputies in patrol. Now, how are trucks going to help when you only have 4 deputies? You can have 8 freaking trucks right there parked, beautiful trucks for the sheriff's office. But if you only have 4 deputies to be, on them, 3 or 4 are going to be sitting there. It doesn't make sense. Now, I'm all for, having a reserve, having a vehicle that doesn't, run, because you got to take care of the vehicles. But I just don't see how that is even a comment. But full disclosure, Mr. Cantu, Martin Cantu Sr., is the husband of Rosy Cantu, who was beaten by now Commissioner Rios in Precinct 2. So let's scroll down more, a little bit of the comments. So Miss Hernandez again, judge negotiating contract for sheriff needs to be, I don't know where that was going. Maribel Garcia Rodriguez, that person, let's see, you make all these demands yet you take his budget. How hypocritical of this judge. Now, again, funds were never taken from anybody. And I don't know why or who's behind that, or if it's a real person or not. But I mean, there was no funds taken by anybody. That's just the way it is. The fact that he will not play ball with an elite group makes him ethical and fair. Okay, ethical and fair. Do you think it's ethical for a sheriff to hire a jailer that is not certified, a jailer, up there, which is a lieutenant jailer, that is not even certified to be a jailer? I would ask Maribel Garcia Rodriguez, is that ethical and fair? Is it ethical and fair that the county sheriff was not prepared the way the county attorney was? Is that ethical and fair? Is that a fair statement? Now, I don't know about an elite group. To me, I think that that's just kind of fishing for whatever. But there was the trick here, guys, has always been the same trick. There's political factions. We know them. We see them. And this is one faction that is ultimately losing control of the powers that they had. And now they're just getting back. Maximum law enforcement is sheriff, not judge or iracheta. Um, okay, Miss Hernandez, I would challenge that, and I am gonna say that the sheriff is one of the maximum law enforcement until you run into a constable in his precinct. That right there is the one that can handcuff a sheriff if funds were misappropriated, if the sheriff is receiving illegal campaign contributions, if the sheriff is abusing grant funding. That's where a constable with a specific precinct has more power than the sheriff. So I'm going to go ahead and challenge that saying there. Let's see. He should have taken care of his deputies instead of giving raises to other staff for political gain. We know. Okay. All but fund sheriff properly. Defund police, Cantu and Iracheta, word salad. What the fuck is this lady saying? You gotta be outside your fucking mind. Word salad is exactly what you're doing. Just throwing out fucking bull. Why don't they provide more funds for more deputies to patrol in the county instead of complaining? They spend the money already on other stuff, and now they want the sheriff's office to do their jobs without any funding. Proposed budgets are the funding mechanism. This is done at the end of the fiscal year, actually months before the end of the fiscal year, and all these preparations are being made. Again, I'm going to be honest with y'all and say there was never any money taken from anybody. That is not the case. Now, as much as people are playing the narrative that they're taking away money from them, reallocating money for the best of everything is good. Now, the sheriff wants to say he doesn't have a grant person, but no other department has a grant person except for the centralized one that exists under planning department. But that is the thing with efficiency and how efficiency runs. Now, moving on with the comments, you have legal advice on what is an emergency in administrative matters as opposed to a legal matter. He should be able to separate those. If he can't, then ¿qué hacemos? Okay. All right. Nothing to say there. Why not just let him have the copies? Okay. Amarillo saying why not let him have the copies? I don't think it was anything. He's an elected official. Information should be readily available. Now, I know when you have grants, the best practice would be to keep records for your department. Apparently, that was not done in this instance. Of not that they wouldn't be no asking for anything. Used instead of losing the grant, the sheriff doesn't choose to fund or take care of his deputies. Tarde pero sin sueño, como siempre. Ya llegó, le levantamos las manos. Good job, Jerry. Okay, that's all the comments that were here. I don't see all of them. I did see a few there, but anyways, dude, guys, this thing has turned into an entire shit show. Now, to me, I don't think that just going by some comments. If you have any comments, we're going to be closing up soon. Let us know if you have anything. Now, the fact of the matter is the situation that is being, portrayed to you obviously is never the facts, right? You sometimes don't get the entire truth by a snippet of a video. Yes, okay, there you go. Clark Griswold, dog and pony show. Okay, so it's a dog and pony show, politics. That's what they say, right? So when you get to the situation at hand, look, as a constituent, you want an elected official that is there, that knows he's there, and that is able to answer certain questions whenever, it arises. It's your duty. That's what you get paid for. So it's very suspect here, especially when you see the mishaps, the things that are not happening. Forget the things that are happening. Things are happening, but what's not happening now? Again, I will go reach and say that if you have a grant in your department, if you're awarded funding, how do you not keep track of these things? And apparently somebody's being thrown under the bus for the situation. Now, whether it's a thing where, yeah, he should be thrown on the bus, they should be thrown on the bus, he should be thrown on the bus, whatever situation that you may be considering or knowing, is the fact of the matter is, we wanted to know what was going on. And I say that as a public, about the Operation Lone Star grant, and who delivered, who didn't, who brought up the whole situation about politics. And we're going to download the video and we're going to share it so you guys can take a look. But the problem that I see, why Maverick County, Eagle Pass, whatever it is you want to say, we're not able to progress as a community, because whenever there is a loss of power within any group, the only people that gets crushed like a grape are you and me, and the public, right? And it's difficult sometimes because we don't always know who's right. We don't always know who's wrong. Now, my issue is not telling you what is right and wrong. My thing is just bringing up things that you guys, through the course of your day, through the course of your week, through the course of your life, you might not be paying attention to. And that's fine, because everybody has their lives. Everybody does what they do. Now, what we're here for is nothing other than to relay the information so you guys can make the best possible decision when it comes to, elections, when it comes to what you're doing with your life. That's another podcast, right? But as the Maverick Times, we're here to give you guys what it is, and not shy away from the issues, because the matter at hand is that we are 5 days away, less than 5 days, 4 days away from the primaries opening up in February 20th. Both Democrat and Republicans are going to have their individual primaries. So you're going to have to choose whether you're going to be voting on the Democrat primary or the Republican primary, because you're not able to vote on both. So it's important to know who you're dealing with. It's important to know who your elected officials are now, because are you going to vote for them again? And that's a problem that, sometimes we can get complacent as a community and say, hey, well, he's been there, let him do that. In the case of, Precinct 3C, the constable, we have a young guy that we interviewed earlier that is interested in providing more than what is expected. And I think that every elected official should strive to give more service than they're expected to give. Clark Griswold, of course, a dog and pony show. And that goes with everything. My thing is that being in there, if you cannot go with the flow of and answer the calls to the dog and pony show, do you need to be there? Let's just cut the cheese, cut the butter, whatever it is your favorite phrase is, right? If you're not able to keep up with the dog and pony show at 100% for the constituents, then changes need to be made. And I'm not here to tell you who's to change, how to change, or what to change, but nonetheless, a change needs to be made, especially when, there's just so much fussing going on right now in the court, and it's detrimental to progress. And I think that, not to pick sides, which is, I'm not here to pick any sides. I'm just here to let you guys know the situation that is occurring here locally. But it's important to always remember that, unfortunately, everything in life, life has its duality. There's people that are here for you, and there's people that are here not for you. And I think as a community, we have collectively raised our consciousness, and now we're starting to question things, and that's a good thing. It's a good thing to question. It's a good thing to ask these questions and demand transparency. Now, there's always going to be the political show, dog and pony show. We saw it live and in living color, where, they try to distract you from the issue. And it's difficult. I'm not going to say it's easy, but we try to give you the unfiltered, what it is, how it is, and get everything done. Now, guys, one more thing I do want to bring up before I go is that we have our poll. Our poll is out. What you guys are going to want to do is take a look at our poll and make a decision on there. Again, this is a primary polls. We have them separated into a Republican and Democrat sections, right? So you get the introduction. You have I'm actually scrolling so I can show y'all. And you also have what you can put in as your, there you go. So you can either select candidates on the primary one, or you can select candidates on the Democrat side. But nonetheless, again, here you go, Maverick Times 2024 primary election polls. If you go ahead and go, we don't ask for your email. We don't keep those records. But Democrat primary, and then you have all your Democrats on there. Then you'll have your Democrats on there, and you'll also have your Republicans. So we're going to go ahead and share this with this right now. So you guys can have an opportunity to possibly, get out there and let your voice be heard. And we're going to be sharing the results probably right before we hit we'll share the results right before the primaries stop. That way you guys know what's going on, who to follow, who's winning, who's not. But we have the polls here. We're going to go ahead. Let's post them. That way, if you're watching it, it's easy. It's a Google form. It has no tiene chiste, as we say. If you go ahead and click it, it'll take you directly there. And, cast your vote. Let people know who you're voting for, who you want to vote for, who's going to win this election. Let us know. Again, we extend an invite, as we have always, to elected officials. If you guys want to come down and be a part of our podcast, please let us know. We're here to inform the public more than anything, guys. It's not a political agenda. We're not here to pick a side. We're not part of a side, but we are part of searching for the truth and making sure that our viewership is always well informed about everything that they may be making a decision about. Media here has always been traditionally one-sided and stuck to whoever pays the most, that sort of thing. Y'all know who they are, what have you. But we're here to simply tell you or bring you what's real, what's right, and you decide from there, right? Again, we posted the links on this podcast on the comments. Go out and pick your poll, even if it's one candidate out of all of them. Let us know. We're going to be sharing the results, and if we consider the past when we've done polls, they have always been a good indicator of how the results happen. So be sure you participate and be a part of the results, guys. We're going to go ahead and sign off. We appreciate the time. We appreciate Mr. Olivares sitting with us. We look forward to all other elected officials to be contacting us today, tomorrow, over the weekend, right before the primaries start, guys. Come out. Let's have a friendly conversation of what it is you want to accomplish, what's going to be done if you're elected to office, guys. That's all I got for today. Be sure to catch us next time. If you haven't already, share this post, like it. Be sure you hit the little option there to be notified every time we're live. That way you get a notification and you can join our live right away. Guys, thank you very much. We are out. This is the Maverick Times.